Hello everyone. Welcome to the J.M. Stringer Gallery. I'm John Stringer. I'm doing the video with Coco today. Joey's being a little fussy, so we'll get him next time for sure. Folks, I hope you've had a wonderful summer. We've been traveling too out west, and we'll be sharing a little of that with you later. But we have a wonderful season opening exhibition for you. It's called New Arrivals, Old Favorites. And the Old Favorites is a play on work because there are some great pieces from our collection here, but also some great new older pieces that have come into the gallery. But we're featuring the work of Kyle Stuckey predominantly, but also Richard Oversmith, Mary Garish, Edward Newt, and so many other of our artists. So please come in and let's take a look. We won't be able to cover everything in this show because it is so extensive, but we will try to do our best. This beautiful painting, which is on the cover of the exhibition, Flowers of Blue by Kyle Stuckey. It is exquisite. Beautiful hydrangeas, roses mixed together. The one in the center, this is called Sky on Fire. And this charming piece, A Florida Sunset. Look at the nuance, look at how the reflections in the water in the foreground. It's so beautifully done. There's such a peacefulness about this painting. Powerfully peaceful. One Dead Ahead is another one of Kyle Stuckey's that we're featuring. This is a painting called Heaven on the Shoreline. And I think it speaks for itself. Richard Oversmith, as you know, is one of our most well-traveled artists that we represent. He's been everywhere and continues to travel. This one here on the bottom, Colorful Croatia Streets, is from his time in Croatia this past year. And the one above it, something that I love very much, called Along the Loire. And oh my goodness, just a luscious painting. And there's so many more. This is an old favorite that we brought back out because I think it is so special. It will find its owner without a doubt. This is Eiffel Tower, but in the evening, look at that wonderful reflection on the clouds up above. Incredible. And there's a great Richard Oversmith, also of Croatia, that I just wanted to point out, dragged ahead over the sofa. And this is Sea Breeze at Twilight. Look at the handling of the paint. Look at that background. Look at the sky. I told him when I saw this painting, it had like a little Van Gogh quality to it. Just the way it's handled. So beautiful. And speaking of another beautiful painting by him, Dead Ahead is a very large 48 by 48 painting of the town, I think it's Cadaqués in Spain, just across the border from France. So these are just some of the places he's traveled to this past year. Now, before I mention that I was on a trip, I just want to share something briefly with you. We were out west near Lake Tahoe and the Nevada side of Lake Tahoe. And I luckily went to a great art fair that I didn't expect to do this. But I'm walking around and I connected with a gentleman so strongly. His name is Richard Reiner. And Richard, these two pieces I've acquired for myself from him, but I wanted to show them in this exhibition because we're thinking of maybe representing Richard here and I wanted to let my clients see if they see what I might have seen in these pieces. I love the mystery in his work. He leaves so much for the viewer to put into the narrative. He doesn't tell you everything, but his sense of color and shadow, light and shadow, I just think it's incredible. So I can't wait to hear your responses when you come. Now, in addition, remember I mentioned that we have a number of great older paintings that have come into the gallery this season. And this was a painting that I have a long history with because I've sold it many years ago. And it is by the great American painter, Edward Henry Pothast. Now, most people think of Pothast and they think of the children on the beach frolicking in the surf, which he did later in his career. But this is when he's in France, in Barbizon, France. And this painting, so it's special in his body of work, but look at the light. I've had a number of artists who've seen this painting and have commented on how beautifully done it is. Edward Newt, who you all know from Great Britain, always made a comment, what a gorgeous painting that is, what a special painting. And it is now back with us for you to see. Can't wait to share it with you. Now, in addition to that that's come in, of course, dead ahead, I wanted to share a painting by John C. Traynor. This is a painting of Watch Hill, Rhode Island, and it's called The Ocean House Beach in Watch Hill. And, you know, John is such a perennial favorite. Everyone, all my clients love him. He hopefully will be with us showing in March with others. And but this one has come early, and I think it's something that everybody should see. It's breathtaking. It's a wonderful piece. I think it's a 40 by 50. I'm almost sure that is the size of it. Now over here, from a private collection of a dear friend, someone who had a major art collection, who's now left us, this painting has come in, and this is by the great American painter, Charles Hawthorne. There are two from the collection. This one is very, very rare. I can tell you the entire provenance when we see you, from Hawthorne to how I happen to have this painting all these years later. But he founded the Provincetown School of Painting, and when his paintings have figures in them, they are the most sought after. It's a beautiful piece called Spring Beauty. Up above, a few paintings that have come from Bruges, Belgium, that have come to me from a collector in Bruges, Belgium. This is called Le Jardin Ensoleillé. And this is the Béguinage, a place where religious sisters used to gather. Now just women can go for reflection and to have a peaceful place to gather their thoughts and reflect. It is spectacular. Another one that is by Charles Verbrugge, who was a great artist from Bruges, Belgium. And we also have this other one, which was on the invitation, called Pont de la Hydromel à Bruges, a very famous bridge in Bruges, which is really the Venice of the North. And the painting below it is an artist that whenever I can find his work, oh my gosh, how much do I love it. His figures are fabulous. This is The Collector. And look at the man, look at the face, look at the fabrics, look at the jacket, the velvet jacket that he's wearing. You can tell the textures of everything. And wonderful painter when they're found. A few other really clever and special antique paintings that have come in. This Hayley Lever, who was Australian born, went to England, painted in Cornwall, and then around 1911-12 came to America and had a big career in on Cape Cod and all over. And he was connected with Charles Hawthorne and the Hawthorne School of Painting in Provincetown. Above it is a charming little W.S. Mount painting called Long Island Farm. And this is the artist, William S. Mount, lived from 1807 and he passed in 1868. So this is a piece probably somewhere in the 1850s on a farm on Long Island. Charming, charming painting. And just one more quick antique painting that we're going to talk about Also from the same collection as some of these others. This is by Imogene Howells, who is also a student and disciple of Charles Hawthorne. This piece, Green Boat at the Dock, won the silver medal in 1915 at the Panama Pacific International Exhibition in San Francisco. And this too was in that collection of this major collector. But it is really, really special and exceedingly rare. One great, another piece by Richard Oversmith, another 48 by 48, just beautiful. The surf and the sky. As we wander back into this third section, we're going to focus on the work of Kyle Stuckey again. Look at this amazing still life monumental painting. It's a 60 by 40 called Reaching. And look at all those beautiful blossoms reaching towards the sky. It's a statement piece in the right place, no question. Now we know Kyle, not only is he a fabulous still life artist, landscape artist, but a phenomenal portrait artist. Here's a wonderful piece really focused on that face of his subject. And the painting is called Focus. And it's oil on aluminum panel. And he's done a few of these on aluminum panel, and they have just a very silky, lovely quality to the way in which the paint is applied. And one below of Venice. Mary Garish, there's a wonderful collection of Mary Garish's, a few in the window. Sorry we couldn't photograph those the way the light is bouncing today. But look at this one. This painting, Rise of the Harvest Moon. And this is a quintessential Mary Garish painting. Beautiful, ethereal, quietly powerful. And we'll just pan through Last Light by Kyle Stuckey. The one up top here, Off into the Sunset by Kyle Stuckey. And now I want to focus. Only 3 have come in from Great Britain, from Edward Newt for this exhibition, but all 3 are sensational. This is called Buddha Under Wisteria. But I want, if you zoom in here, look at the paint and the stippling, I think it is, that he's done to create the texture of these blossoms, of those wisteria blossoms in the garden. It's exceptional painting. Now there are 2 others by him. Dead Ahead, which is the Hawthorne Blossom Light Effect. Again, look at that lighting effect through the blossoms. And again, with all that lovely, lovely texture, that almost the light dances on the canvas. And the third painting that came in for this exhibition is called Lunch on the Terrace. And again, typical Edward Newt, you see, I mean, like here's a garden setting, but look at the shadowing with the sunlight through the chairs. Notice the way it dances off that, again, that stippling of the flowers all around and the leaves of the trees. It's really a very elegant painting. And then we'll just take a quick look at some of the Mary Garish paintings that are here. And this charming one called Serenity, which I absolutely love. And a few more Kyle Stuckey paintings over this way. One of Venice called Making Memories. Anyone who's been to Venice certainly can relate to that. Vero Sunrise, which actually already from the website someone has claimed. You see how beautiful it is. And then another oil on aluminum painting by Kyle called Glow, aptly named. And we're just going to, we can't really talk about the too many wonderful things in this exhibition, folks, but we're just going to move straight ahead just so you get a feeling for what's hanging in the gallery. Of course, again, one of our old favorites, this Being Present by Kyle Stuckey. Look at those beautiful eyes. Look at that, the way it's both traditional and it's contemporary and modern at the same time. It's beautifully handled. Joy Jackson, we have a few wonderful new Joy Jacksons into the gallery. This one called True Blue. Joy had an exceptional year last year at the gallery, and she's now brought a few really special things in. Another Charles Hawthorne, great, which we mentioned before, the Spring Beauty, but this is the Garden Fountain. Beautiful, beautiful handling of the paint. Edward Newt, of course, up above. And then I'd like to focus on this wonderful new antique painting that's come in, not a new antique painting, but from 1889. But this is the great Antonio Jacobsen. Of course, he was Danish-American, came here as a young man from Denmark, but lived in New Jersey, right across from New York Harbor, and really became the great chronicler of American steam shipping of that period. This is the SS Calandre, a French ship, and this came from a collector in Belgium that we were able to recently acquire. But he is collected throughout the United States, always by great lovers of antique marine art, and in Europe as well. And then and then I wanted to finish with this Joy Jackson painting that we have right here, folks. Oh, let me get out of the way. But this is called Not Just a Pretty Face. And that's because you've got the pansies and their eye that almost look like they have little eyes and faces to each one of them. But I just thought it is so colorful, so beautiful, in the right spot. So that gives you a little glimpse of what's on exhibit, folks. And as I said, so much more that we couldn't cover. But we hope you'll take a good look. Go on the website. If you have any questions, please just call. I'm always happy to answer whatever I can for you. And we hopefully, if you're in town, we'd love to have you come by and take a look personally. So thanks again for watching, and we'll look forward to seeing you whenever you do get to Vero Beach. Thank you very much.